cauldron of emotions boiling high. Ian Darke and Taylor Twellman, the opponents, Turkey. The task at hand, show something for 90 minutes.
Yeah, that national anthem and the whole feel around the stadium. I think World Cup fever is with us, and Jurgen Klinsmann keeping everyone guessing. First it was 30, then it was 23. Who will be the starting 11? 3 more changes today, Taylor.
Yeah, and Ian, he talked about it in the press conference 10 days ago that he would make changes. I think surprisingly, though, Timmy Chandler's in the starting lineup at left back. You're talking about a left side of the defense that haven't played together. Matt Beasler, Timmy Chandler together. It'll be very interesting to see their early communication early on in this game.
Brad Davis getting a call up as well, and Clint Dempsey fit again after his groin injury. That was just precautionary, the fact that he didn't start against Azerbaijan the other night. A very windy night. I can tell you conditions here far different. It's warm, it's sunny. The pitch is absolutely perfect. Let's have a look at the Turkey side for you today, and the most familiar name there is the doorman and former Liverpool and Real Madrid star Nuri Sahin. The experienced Galatasaray man Selçuk İnan is fit for this one, and Ozan Ozyakup is interesting in midfield. He was part of the Arsenal academy and made the first-team squad before being snapped up by Beşiktaş in Turkey. Balta, the defender there, wearing the number 2 shirt today, was in the Euro 2008 semi-final team. During tonight's match, ESPN3 has 2 alternate ways to watch. Tactical Cam, giving you a bird's-eye view of the screen, or see what the fans are doing on the American Outlaws Cam, all available on ESPN3. Well, before kickoff today, there will be a tribute now to those who lost their lives, some 300 miners in the Soma coal mining disaster in Turkey recently.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for a moment of silence in remembrance of those who lost their lives in a tragic mining accident in Turkey several weeks ago. Thank you.
So, Taylor, then, who is your Gatorade primed to perform player for us today?
Well, he's in the city where his professional career began. To think a year ago, Josie Altidore scored that wonderful goal for Germany in DC, has turned into a forward that hasn't scored since December, only 1 goal in 31 Premier League games. He desperately needs a goal today, not only for his confidence, but more so for Jurgen Klinsmann and his teammates today.
Yes, it's almost like a Groundhog Day for Altidore. Coming back, can he come up with a June flood of goals again? Jurgen Klinsmann, well, controversial, big calls he's had to make, including the Landon Donovan omission, but nobody in the world hardly knows more about the World Cup as player and coach than him. Michael Bradley, so important, and Brad Davis with a chance to state his case on the left of the diamond formation that the USA are using currently in midfield. That does look like the plan for the World Cup. First game 15 days away against Ghana. Interestingly, Ghana ranked 38 in the world. Turkey, although they didn't qualify, 39. They're a pretty decent side who've won twice in the last week, away to Ireland and against Honduras in Washington the other night. So this is a proper test, Taylor, for the USA.
Especially defensively. What we saw 5 days ago against Azerbaijan was a waste of time. You're talking about going to a group with Ghana, Germany, and Portugal. Today is the right test for Jurgen Klinsmann 15 days before the World Cup begins for them.
They will be asked 1 or 2 questions, you'd think, as well. Saw Turkey play away to Ireland, and they took their chances well and defended pretty well too, to Martin O'Neill's side. There's Jermaine Jones, who has the holding role in that diamond. Altidore, struggling for confidence, badly needing a goal. He hasn't scored in 2014 for club or country, not yet. Gürkan, beautifully done by Nuri Sahin, who swaps passes cleverly. There's Fabian Johnson again deployed and right back. It looks like he's in pole position to start their in the World Cup, a key position too, with some very stellar names likely to raid down that side, including Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal. Here is Johnson. Michael Bradley looking for the 1-2. It's cut up by Ozyakup. This is the former Arsenal man. And Chamdal's run was stopped. Now to Altidore. I think he will be enjoying being back part of the USA squad. It'll be a break from his rigours with Sunderland. Quite easily cut out and brought away here by Isak. No chance there. Erkine playing it inside. He scored the other day against Honduras. They got 2 in the last 15 minutes to win that one. Good went over. Of course, a World Cup qualifying side. Dempsey couldn't quite control it. Here's Erkine again. Of course, another concern, Taylor, for the players will be nobody, of course, wants to get injured so close to the World Cup. Mexico had a nightmare yesterday.
Italy as well with Montalivo. Ecuador losing players the last 24 hours, Ian. That's been the biggest topic. We're 2 weeks from the World Cup, and so many big-name players not being able to play in the World Cup due to injury.
Still waiting for final word of Rafael Marquez as well, who was injured. Poor old Luis Montes of Mexico out to the World Cup with a broken leg. Brutal. Dempsey trying to find a way through. He was denied there by Thuram. This time last year, this corresponding weekend, Altidore scored a great goal to end a scoring drought, and the USA beat, albeit Germany B side, by 4 goals to 3. Dempsey was in fantastic form. Sparked a very good run in the World Cup qualifiers as well. Cameron and Beasler at the back there, with Omar Gonzalez still nursing an injury. Well, this is a bad miscue. Balter's a steady figure there. So too did Shaheen, helping it forward.
That's a good step from Matt Beasler. The other night he had a couple nervy moments early on in this game. That's a good step.
Mevlut Dinch looking to cause some trouble. He's another one who scored against Honduras in Washington. Experienced player who plays in the French league for Saint-Etienne.
We went into the Azerbaijan game, and looking at Jermaine Jones at the bottom of that diamond, it's extremely important that he has the discipline to not get caught up in the game here. The tempo's a little higher. He's got to stay in front of Beasler and Cameron.
It's a good idea, that attack. The final ball in just wasn't quite of a required quality by Zusi, but Michael Bradley there was furthest forward, having sprung from midfield. So he obviously has a license to get ahead of Dempsey and Altidore. Watch for that. Ozyakup. Mevlut Dinch trying to just measure one. He didn't quite manage to do it, did he? Tim Howard wants an inquest with the defense.
Well, I think the most important part for the United States going into the World Cup is in transition. The moment when that ball is lost, and here it's lost from Michael Bradley, look at the recovery. It's immediate, because in the World Cup in 2 weeks from now, you're talking about in transition, Ghana, Portugal, Germany. The ball's going to turn over. It's what's your immediate reaction? Great reaction from Michael Bradley.
Certainly will give the US another dimension. Dempsey looking to slide that into the path of Altidore, who had found a little bit of space, in fact. Player down injured is Isak for Turkey. Of course, everybody else is available to come on for the United States, and a few of them will be itching for their chance as well. Do you think he knows the starting 11 for the Ghana game, Jurgen Klinsmann?
Well, I think one of the signs is today's game is a lot of people are wondering, why is Timmy Chandler playing left back and Fabian Johnson's playing right back? It's because Fabian Johnson will be the starting right back from Ghana. Timmy Chandler's not left-footed, Ian, but he wants as many reps for Fabian Johnson at right back. That's something he says today. But honestly, I think it's the game against Nigeria. We will see the closest thing to the starting lineup.
Timmy Chandler at left back is interesting. Of course, DeMarcus Beasley would be playing in his 4th World Cup, should he appear in Brazil. He's been holding down that position, but Chandler with a chance to just make a case for himself today. See how he gets on here. Gurkhan, as well, broken up by Brad Davis. They're working back and helping out. Graham Zusi. Lovely ball into the path of Dempsey. Fantastic pass that from Zusi. Dempsey again looks to chip one to the back post. And the goalkeeper, Onur, making a little bit of a meal of it. Well, Dempsey was trying to do something he did for Fulham against Juventus. That wonderful chip goal he scored in the Europa League.
So much Ian has talked about the diamond in the midfield. And one of the strengths of having Graham Zusi on the right and Brad Davis on the left is their ability to tuck inside. It makes things very difficult then for that defending fullback of whether or not to follow that runner inside. Graham Zusi in a good spot and a better run from Clint Dempsey.
He was trying to chip it, wasn't it? Was it cross or was he looking for the far post? We'll never know, I don't think.
You talk about that goal against Juventus. How special was that?
Oh, yeah. Brilliant. That's what he can do. Space here for Gurkhan on the right-hand side. Plenty of it as well. Jones makes a bit of a hash of the clearance. And, well, that went with Ozyakin having the chance. And that would have been a nightmare for Jermaine Jones. And that nestled into the corner of the net. Now that the other end, Altidore takes on Thuram. Dempsey can't work it into the path of Bradley. Selçuk-İnan upping the ball back to Gurkhan, who's an experienced player, the number 7 for Fenerbahce, the Turkish champions. A player that used to be a goalkeeper, now making his career as a right back. Meanwhile, end-to-end stuff. Look at that from Dempsey. Great confidence, little cameo of flair.
Any questions about the groin, Ian?
Doesn't seem to be. We spoke to Clint Dempsey the other day. He's perfectly happy with that, so I think that scare's over with. US looking pretty inventive going forward. There's a confidence about Turkey. They are using this for their very great coach, Fatih Terim, back in charge for the 3rd time of the national side. They're getting ready for European Championship qualifying. They missed out on the last day of World Cup qualification, losing at home to the Netherlands. Here's Clint Dempsey. Bradley in the middle. Davis arriving. Poor ball that time from Dempsey towards Zusi. Now this, just check this out from Clint Dempsey. See you later. And it's going to be little magic moments like that that might decide things come Brazil in some tight matches. Good battling by Jermaine Jones, described as a 1000% team player by Jurgen Klinsmann. Of course, you'll know a lot of these Turkey players because he's been playing in Beşiktaş, one of the famous clubs in Istanbul. Quite measured the pass well enough from Jones there, and he's going to need to be able to do that from his deep-lying position at the World Cup. Selçuk-İnan, who was injured against Ireland, had to come off early. He's a key player, really, at the heartbeat of the side. I'll be glad to have him back in for this one. Isak. For the ever willing Tariq Chandal to chase.
There's just no reason for Jeff Cameron to take down Chandal here. He's done everything right positionally. He's got it. Perfect position on the backside of Chandal. There's just absolutely no reason to take him down. Now
they're on trial a little bit. Cameron and Beasler playing together for only the third time. The other two were against Azerbaijan the other night and Jamaica. This is something a little different again against a middle-ranking European side. Selçuk İnan is going to take the free kick for Turkey. Davis helps it on. It onto Keane, cut back, Isak with a hint of an opportunity here, and Shaheen! Oh, USA were very, very lucky there not to go behind. The Dortmund midfield player with a great chance.
And an unbelievable run coming for him from Isak in the middle. This is what Turkey brings. This is the kind of test the United States need going into the World Cup. Is runs coming out of the midfield, deep line runs. Isak, great run, lays it off. United States extremely lucky, and that comes from communication from either Chandler, Cameron, Matt Beasler. That's coming from a deep line position. One of those guys has to pick him up.
Struck the outside of the post. Tim Howard was just hoping and praying it didn't go in.
Well, when we came into this game, what did I talk about? Communication. This is Matt Beasler and Timmy Chandler's first time playing together. So that's the kind of communication. The ball luckily goes wide. Now you regroup here.
Well, the back four being used today, none of them have played in the World Cup. Of course, there's only 5 players in the whole 23 who've played in the World Cup, the least experienced squad picked since 1990. Big test today. They haven't got long to get it all sorted out. You could tell Shaheen thought he should have scored as well. Probably right. Here's Timmy Chandler, back from the wilderness really. He seemed to have either lost interest or the US had lost interest in him. But in the 23 for the World Cup, will he be in the 11? Beasler from Sporting Kansas City, one of 10 Major League Soccer players picked by Jurgen Klinsmann. Cameron. Chandler. Altidore. Spun well. Decent piece of work by him. And it was away by Hakan Balta.
Couple good turns early on, good clean first touches from Jozy Altidore. This is what Alexi Lalas was talking about in the pregame. Being big, being strong, and being an option up front.
It was a great spin by Altidore. He just wants that goal to get him going again. This would be a fine time, a fine day for him to do it. Confident start by Altidore. Now there's a corner, and it is Altidore, but it's going to be disallowed. He put it in the back of the net, and that's just the way it's been going for Jozy Altidore. It doesn't count. He's almost beseeching the referee to give it.
Well, and right before this set piece is taken, Ian, you're looking at 3 players from the United States on the goal line, making life very difficult. I have absolutely no idea where the foul is.
Nor me. Beasler gets ahead to this.
He motioned to Jozy Altidore that push right there on Unar.
Did it hit the hand?
Foul.
Does it hit the hand of
No,
Altidore?
he calls this push right here on the goalkeeper. Wow.
You'd have to say that was extremely generous to the Turks, that, and pretty unlucky for Jozy Altidore. Meanwhile, at the other end, it's an end-to-end game, isn't it? This Gurkhan raiding down that side. The only wonder is we haven't had a goal so far. So USA also set to face Nigeria. You'll catch that with us as well. Next Saturday, they fly on the Sunday. They play Belgium behind closed doors before the big opening game, the vital game against Ghana on the 16th. Here's the corner. Dempsey headed away. It's not very far though. Keane's going to play this in again. Problem for Tim Howard, who's making his 99th appearance today for the US. He will join the 100 club in Florida next weekend, all being well. Chandler, Dempsey, lovely flick on, Brad Davis. What can he do with that good left foot of his? Not quite enough. Balta cuts it out. Nothing wrong with the attacking work. Ozyakup.
Well, the United States have done a wonderful job, Ian, of getting Clint Dempsey, Josie Altidore, peeling off that back shoulder from the defender, but more importantly, getting Graham Zusi and Brad Davis involved in the midfield.
Gurkhan. Going plenty forward. Mevluta Dinch didn't get hold of it. There's no question Turkey mean business here. They want a big result against one of the World Cup qualifiers. Turan's header wasn't too clever. Not enough on it. Dempsey can pick it up. And Nuri Şahin, and that's come off Dempsey last. He's looking for a free kick. Clint Dempsey's not going to get that. But back to form with Seattle this season with 8 goals. Is tied for 3rd place on the MLS goal-scoring standings. Looks his old self again, doesn't he?
Well, he does. I think the big part of last year's struggles where he was coming in the middle of the season, everyone was fit, and then injuries kind of crept in there. But now having a full preseason, going over to England, there was no doubt about it. Clint Dempsey's back to his old ways and having a little bit of that chip on the shoulder, because I think some of the fans from the Outlaws or whatever it was doubting him. Clint Dempsey plays better when he has that chip on the shoulder.
It's an interesting psychological point. You know him quite well too, so you've got the inside track on that. He's a feisty character, all right. He could make a bit of history as well. No USA player has ever scored at 3 World Cups. Dempsey has scored at the 2 he's been to so far. Brad Davis preferred today to Alejandro Bedoya in that position. It might be one of those that is up for grabs. O'Keefe, strong character, good ball too. Mevluta Dinch. Stop by Timmy Chandler. Turkey quite happy to commit a lot of players forward.
Well, as much as we're complimenting the United States going forward, Ian, Turkey has had their chances coming through the middle. We're seeing when the ball is out of play, you're seeing Jeff Cameron, Matt Beazer communicate with each other, still trying to figure out a couple of problems they're having, talking to each other, picking up runners.
Chandal nearly arrived to Selçuk İnan. Keane, must be a chance at a goal for Selçuk İnan. He was right through, right in front of goal, and is wondering how he didn't put that in, and the USA have got away with another one.
And this is the second time that it's that run behind Jeff Cameron's back shoulder, and this comes from communication with Fabian Johnson. Immediately when this ball turns over, you see Jeff Cameron's pushing that line. That has to be Fabian Johnson tucking inside, defending İnan. Extremely lucky for the United States.
That would be a worry for Jurgen Klinsmann, how easy Turkey are finding it to carve out some pretty good opportunities. And when your opposition are Ghana, Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo, and Germany, his country of birth, the country he won the World Cup with. Going to be hard. Gürkan again here. Good-looking ball. Mevlut Dinch. And Howard does get something in the way, but Turkey look bright, and you have to say so far, this USA defence somewhat bemused. Bradley.
But Ian, in saying that, this is what you want out of these games.
Bradley. 3 against 2 here if they get it right. Altidore, back to Bradley! And a vital stop, maybe to prevent the goal from Turan. Not sure whether it was going in, but he needed to get something in the way of it. Dufan with the vital interception. chance for the US. There have been opportunities at both ends so far. It's an entertaining game, all right. Turkey haven't made the World Cup final since 2002, but that year, you might remember, they reached the semis, as they did in the European Championships in 2008. They've had some useful teams. Gökhan. Chandal, movement again is very good. Keane. Chandal. Plays right back these days for Stoke City, like central defence. Not cleared though, and this time Erkin doesn't get the shot right. But at the moment, they're at 6s and 7s at the back, the US. They play their final game on Saturday before heading to Brazil against Nigeria at Everbank Field in Jacksonville. Coverage beginning at 5:30 Eastern on ESPN and also available on the Watch ESPN app.
You talk about them at 6s and 7s in the back end. That's exactly what Jurgen Klinsmann got off the bench and told Michael Bradley defensively stay tucked inside a little bit more and not so high.
Big crowd here, good atmosphere. Davis, good movement as well. Altidore waiting in the middle, it was too long for him, way too long as it turned out. I mean, if Davis is going to be in the starting lineup for the US, and that would be an against the odds pick at the moment, it's because of his ability to create a chance or two with his lovely left foot.
And on set pieces, those two things. And we saw it, yes, it was Azerbaijan, Ian, but it was coming off the bench. He made a difference immediately. Should have had a penalty in that game. And so far this game going forward, he's been good. However, we just talked about it. I still think the United States have been lucky to be 0-0 here in this game. Turkey's had the better quality of chances, in my opinion.
Yep, fully agree with that. They're playing well. Turkey, it's a very open kind of game, though. Want to get the balance right. Here is Nuri Sahin. 1 year he was voted the best player in the Bundesliga.
There's a commentator right there.
Yeah, that's right. Only briefly. Only briefly. He's had that chance as well, hitting the post. Keane. Now then, Isak. Good working back. Keane again with another miss hit with that usually good left foot of his. Wonderful to see Julian Green today, the 18-year-old Bayern Munich player who's only recently pledged himself to the USA. Longing to come on and make a case for himself. It wasn't a great opening for him when he was used for the first time as a sub against Mexico, that 2-2 draw recently. Cameron. Davis. Used to just swapping positions momentarily. Good fluidity about the US, but just giving the ball away there. There's lots of invention going forward from the USA, but the other side of it, the flip side, is the defense looked troubled.
Well, and we've seen Graham Zusi and Brad Davis flip sides, because now it allows Brad Davis to maybe tuck inside, get Fabian Johnson overlapping on the right, now giving the United States a dangerous set piece.
Now Brad Davis to take it. Over the last 6 years, he's created more goals from set pieces, double the amount of any other player in America.
This is a high line from Turkey as well.
Good looking ball towards the back. Flicked on towards Altidore here. Beesford got forward again from the back. Altidore with what looked a reasonably good goal disallowed. Fabian Johnson, look at this, coming forward, right back. Can he finish it? Oh, yes! That is a fantastic goal. It's his first one in an American shirt. And it's one to put in the treasure trove for Fabian Johnson. you've got to say that was absolutely magnificent. The way that it was fashioned and the way, too, that it was finished.
We haven't seen Fabian Johnson at right back as often as he's played there for Hoffenheim, and this is what he's brought in the Bundesliga. Watch Fabian Johnson, watch his run forward, and then a ridiculous ball from Michael Bradley, but it's continuing his run, not giving up on the play, and then you have to hit this first time. It's the only way that ball hits the back of the net. Perfectly executed run and ball from the United States. Great finish from Fabian Johnson.
What a ball from Michael Bradley as well.
But to hit that first time, Ian, is so difficult. Well done. Great goal.
Yep, 10 out of 10 for technique for Fabian Johnson, who grew up idolizing a player called Jürgen Klinsmann in his days at Munich. And now he's playing for him and delivering a goal like that. If that had been scored at the World Cup itself, it would have had 10,000 replays lavished on it, I think.
Just technically so good with both feet. Playing right back to be able to hit that off the half volley with his left foot. That's a great goal.
Go out of play for Gürkan over there. Maybe the US flattered by the lead, because Turkey have certainly had some big opportunities in this game. I don't think that'll be the last goal of the game.
No, I don't think so either. The tempo of this game is high-flying, but just watch Michael Bradley in this connection and understanding. You have to set up Fabian Johnson with this to be able to hit it first time. My goodness. I could watch that 1,000 times. It's such a good ball from Bradley, and even better finish from Fabian Johnson.
He's going to remember that one. His first goal for the United States at the 21st time of asking. The US with the lead. That's what the fans, and they've turned out here in their thousands, just south of New York, here in New Jersey. Looking to make a nuisance of himself. The covering was good there from Hakan Balta of Galatasaray.
But any questions about why Michael Bradley is at the top of the diamond, Ian, I'm showing him that replay 4 or 5 times. The first half against Mexico, he was very good, arguably the best game he's ever had for the national team. But it's in special moments like those that you need someone that can have that ability to pull that play off, and Michael Bradley just did.
But the players who are playing around him there have to have the tactical discipline to keep shielding the defence as well. That's the other side of that argument. That puts a lot of pressure on the likes of, well, Jermaine Jones in particular, but also Zusi and Davis to some extent. Bradley himself too. That's Zusi. I mean, he's the player, isn't he, who's benefited most from Landon Donovan's only rare appearances for the USA these days. Zusi's the man who stepped in, really, and did well. Dempsey pulled into space nicely. The shot wasn't so good. This is worth another look. Just look at the weight of the pass here. He's watched Fabian Johnson's run, and there he says, sunny side up, have that, but there was still a lot to do. Great goal. No two ways about it. Nicely played by Keane, and then it's Nuri Sahin. Looking to measure them. Beautiful pass, wasn't it, that? For Gürkan, who's finding a bit of space on that right-hand side. That's one of the problems you have with the diamond, with everybody tucking in a little bit. There tends to be space out in front of the fullbacks. Somebody once said you can only put 11 players on the pitch. They'd like to use more. Isak couldn't find a way past Fabian Johnson there. That's giving old Altidore a little too much to fancy. Oh, nice of that. And then Balta has just pulled Altidore down. He knew he'd made a mistake, and he had to stop him by hook or crook. It was by crook, in fact.
This is just so good from Jozy Altidore, though, and we all know that the goals have to come, and I get that. That's part of your job. That's your main job as a forward. But these are the things you want to see from Jozy. And too often he's come under criticism of not putting in enough effort on both sides of the ball. That is great work from Josie Altidore there.
Well, I must say, you feel for him a bit. It's been so difficult for him at Sunderland in many ways. Just the one Premier League goal.
This is why Brad Davis is on the 23-man roster right here.
To deliver the right kind of ball in. He's well capable of it. Here comes that ball. The goalkeeper manages to get a punch, and again the referee sees some pushing and shoving, as he did to deny Altidore that much-needed goal. The referee, by the way, Slim Jadidi from Tunisia, is a bit of a controversial character who was suspended after a poor display at the African Cup of Nations last year's semi-final between Ghana and Burkina Faso. He's back in work, clearly. Mevlut Erdinç. Dempsey, very bright, the skipper. Misunderstanding between him and Bradley, mind you. Shaheen, if they get this right, Turkey, there are problems, but that's well played by Timmy Chandler.
Yep. Timmy Chandler may not have been with the U.S. team for 15 months, but he didn't lose his speed, Ian. And the one thing he brings on this is recovery speed, and you saw it right there.
Well, the guy, of course, he's contesting that spot with, DeMarcus Beasley, has that in abundance, doesn't he?
You look at the bench as well, Ian. You look at the 23-man roster. There's a lot of speed on this, and you wonder if that's the reason why Jurgen Klinsmann looked at his World Cup qualifying campaign and said, you know what, we don't have enough speed on this roster to deal with Ghana, Portugal, and Germany.
Moving the 1-0 lead will fool Jurgen Klinsmann. He knows his defence here has been cut to ribbons a couple of times. And that defence is going to have to be very solid and very well organised in Brazil. Bradley nearly finding Fabian Johnson again. Isak mops it up for Turkey. It's controlled by Arziakou. Mevlut Erdinç. One-on-one with Cameron. Chandler's that's better defending. Beasley putting pressure on the ball.
I spoke with Tim Howard yesterday at training, and he's changed up defending set pieces a little bit with Jurgen Klinsmann. They've gone from man-to-man marking to more of a little hybrid with zonal marking. He wants Jeff Cameron, Clint Dempsey, and Jermaine Jones to be free at top of the 6 and attack that ball.
That's it, it works here. Dempsey able to cut it out on the near post. He's got a chance on his good left foot there, and the shot from Bauta is blocked. Turkey must be wondering how they haven't scored. Because these two nations did meet in a World Cup warm-up game 4 years ago. The US won that in Philadelphia 2-1. Dempsey and Altidore, the scorers, back out there again today. The USA so far have never won all 3 World Cup warm-up games. 2006 lost to Morocco, 4 years ago lost to the Czech Republic, you might remember. Selçuk Man. Gürkan. That's a great block by Jermaine Jones, who felt that. Right in the chest, I fancy. That was travelling.
There's one thing you're never going to question about Jermaine Jones is playing with emotion, putting his body on the line, sometimes at fault. But if he's committed at playing that number 6 role in front of Beasler and Cameron and putting his body on the line in moments like these, then it gives Michael Bradley the option to be that creative force going forward.
He's claiming handball there, Gürkan. It could not have been deliberate. Being warmed up is Kyle Beckerman, who will have his own dreams of playing at the World Cup. It's his first chance. He's been a great soldier around the American soccer scene. At the age of 32, he's in a World Cup squad. You can't begin to describe what that means to him.
Well, there's plenty of players on this roster. Chris Wondolowski, Brad Davis, guys that have gotten the most out of their abilities. You just respect that as a player.
Jermaine Jones himself, because he was injured 4 years ago, he's 32, playing in the World Cup for the first time in Brazil. And what a place to make your World Cup debut, by the way. Every moment, every storyline with us on ESPN right the way through the tournament, which is just days away now. Altidore battling well and taken out there. And a good play on, and Dempsey. Was he fouled as well? The referee says no, it's still Dempsey. And this time, Onur, the goalkeeper, denies him a bizarre passage of play with about 15 talking points wrapped into one. Altidore took a knock on the way through. Whether he had a goal-scoring opportunity, I don't know. Turkey have got a player down as well. It's chaos out there. It's Şener Erkin who's down.
Well, and really, this is about Jozy Altidore throwing his body forward. To me, that's not a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, because then Clint Dempsey coming forward here. Ooh, boy.
Tufan with the challenge. They think penalty. What do you think?
Well, you look, Dempsey's in front of Tufan. He's in front of him.
So if he gives that, he has to then red card Tufan as well for the denial of an obvious scoring opportunity. He decided it wasn't. I'd love to know what that conversation is.
I have a good idea.
Didn't know he spoke Turkish, did you, Clint Dempsey?
No.
Well, clearly, Ozan Tufan does. Meanwhile, a problem for Şener Erkin. A blow in the nose.
He runs into the referee, doesn't he, Ian?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the referee's arm, I think, yeah. Seems to be all right. No wonder he's shaking his head about that. That's like one of those what happened next quizzes, isn't it? Nobody'd get it. On Tuesday, the Mexican national team facing Bosnia-Herzegovina in Chicago, preparing for the World Cup. Mexico games presented by Hornitos, Tuesday 9:30, ESPN 2. Live on Watching ESPN as well, your app.
Just feel for Montes, don't you?
Oh,
my goodness.
Absolutely terrible. Good player, too. Saw him in that 2-2 draw, didn't we? So that's horrible. He'd scored a great goal, and then 2 minutes later, he's out of the World Cup with a broken leg.
Well, and the player from Ecuador as well was out of the World Cup in that challenge. Just a nasty challenge.
Yeah, Castillo, wasn't it? And then Riccardo Montalivo of Italy playing at Fulham's Craven Cottage against Ireland. Italy not too clever, by the way, in that game, but you can read too much into results at this stage. They're all looking to peak in a couple of weeks' time. Altidore. But you can't turn form off and on like a tap, can you, Taylor?
No. You can't, and that's the hardest thing as a player, is because in these games, the moment you take 10, 20% off of it, that's when you get injured. You have to play these games, but it then begs the question, are there too many games being played in?
Well, there's many games being played as the coaches want to play to get their teams ready, I guess. Breaks down. Jermaine Jones passed it. Wiesler attacking very high to get the ball back. That was interesting. Coming right out of his defensive position to win it in midfield. You might see the US trying to do that. Press high. Better not lose the ball that high. Fabian Johnson again enjoying the license to roam forward and even get ahead of Altidore at times, as he did for the goal. It's definitely an ambitious and adventurous approach from Jurgen Klinsmann's side. Even if they go out, it might be fun watching. If this is going to be the attitude. Brad Davis. And, the Trabzonspor goalkeeper clutching it out of the air. 6 years he's been at the Trabzonspor club. Finished 4th in Turkey. And last year, Jermaine Jones cut it out, and then his pass wasn't quite as clever.
It's been a good half for Jermaine Jones defensively and being in good spots, protecting Cameron and Beasler, but it's been an indifferent half dealing with distribution. He's given the ball away 4 or 5 times in dangerous spots for the United States.
Altidor's taken a little knock here. He's just been in the wars the last 10 minutes or so, Josie Altidor. Looks like his left shin that he's holding this time. Jurgen Klinsmann persisting with him despite all his problems. It's worth remembering he did get 31 goals the previous season for AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands, where Aaron Johansson is now the star on the bench today for the US. Looks like he's all right. Just hurt his foot, didn't he? It's okay. USA leading by 1-0. And if you haven't seen the goal, if you're late in from lunch, stay with us. We'll show you again at halftime a fantastic goal by Fabian Johnson, his first for the United States. Jurgen Klinsmann's band of German Americans. Selçuk Inan. Mevlut again finding space between the two central defenders. He's done that all afternoon so far. Gürkan curls one, and it's taken a deflection for a corner kick.
No matter what the result of this game is, this first half is a great tool to find out little things about Matt Beasler and Jeff Cameron. Jurgen Klinsmann and his staff will watch this half over and over because Mevlut has found those seams, and he's talking about it right now with Herzog and Ramos.
Yeah. Looks like quite a discussion going on, doesn't it? Selçuk Inan. Forward, this is Gambauta. Keen, good looking ball that one. Good defending. Beasler did that in the end. Beasler, who has a degree in psychology, might need that through the World Cup somewhere. Ball's given away, and chances here. Berkeen cutting and looking at down on that left foot. He's been a little wasteful with some good opportunities. Yakub came on early in the game against Ireland when Selçuk Inan got injured. He was actually on the bench for Arsenal the day they lost 8-2 at Manchester United. It was a good day not to come on. Gürkan. Because Beasler's used to playing, isn't he, with Omar Gonzalez. Are you writing Omar Gonzalez out of the script here a bit? You think it's going to be Cameron and Beasler, do you?
I think so, because you just mentioned it a couple moments ago that Jurgen Klinsmann, a little bit with the high pressure. Well, if you're against Ghana, Germany, and Portugal, you need someone that's a little bit quicker. I think Jeff Cameron over Omar Gonzalez at this moment.
Look at where Mevlut Erdinç had found himself. He just slipped away from the central defenders. Quite cleverly too, and there'll be plenty of people playing for Ghana and Germany and Portugal who can do that kind of thing. The defenders going to have to be watertight. Selçuk Inan is down injured after the challenge from Michael Bradley. Bradley, who did score 4 years ago at the World Cup, a memorable goal in the comeback against Slovenia. And of course then his dad was the coach. He's going to be vital, isn't he? The USA always look a better team when he's there.
It's not even a question, Ian. Remember when Jurgen first took over, Michael Bradley wasn't even in the lineup. And then they played that 4 in the middle diamond in the fog. You were calling the game. Michael Bradley's on left of the diamond, and all of a sudden something clicked.
Slovenia away.
Exactly.
Yes, Ljubljana. Yeah, we could hardly see the players that night.
But do you remember Michael in that game was so good at just connecting the dots between the back 4 and the front 2. He's going to have to be huge in Brazil.
I'm sure you're right, but I couldn't tell you because I could hardly see it. Another 1-3-2. It's an entertaining game here. There have been numerous chances, just the one goal, surprisingly. Nuri Şahin. Isak inside. Selçuk Inan. Really fell out in a big way with the previous coach. He's glad Fatih Terim is back in charge. Stoppage time here at the end of what's been a good to watch first half, if maybe a little worrying on the defensive side from the US. They have attacked with some enterprise. So one last piece of defending to do for the US defense. I'm sure there'll be a lot said in the locker room at half-time in terms of defensive organization and just tightening it up a little bit more. Selçuk Inan takes it in. It's a good deflection that by Jermaine Jones for a corner kick, but it won't be taken. There's not time. That is half-time. A great goal from Fabian Johnson, giving the USA the lead at half-time. They lead Turkey somehow by 1-0. I wonder what Jurgen Klinsmann made of it all. Back to Bob Lee.
Well, I'll tell you, Ian, we were told that in his last talk to the team, he told the U.S. squad to imprint their personality on the game, and somehow of that goal, a goal of duty, one for the keeper reel, but also a defense still full of questions. So 45 minutes to increase the optimism at one end of the field and to increase the questions at the other. Alexi and Casey will join me at the half. We'll take a look at that goal of beauty. Bradley's lovely assist to Fabian Johnson at the 26th minute. 1-0 USA at the half.